Okay, let's now start working on some of these pieces up front. Maybe, well, let's begin with the headlights here. Let's take a look at these. Now, we've got a mirror modifier on them, but I think we are going to be able to see them both at the same time. So we need to apply the mirror modifier before we pack islands in our UV editor. But for now, while we do this, let's go ahead and just remove this here. I'll hit the division key and let's take a look. We tab into edit mode. Well, we don't have anything in the back here, so that's good. We should probably break the lenses out, or the part that are the lights, out first. So if we grab this edge here, press Control E and mark seam, let's add a seam there. And let's also do that over here. Let's Alt click here, Control E, mark seam. So we've got those two selected. Well, let's try that. Let's hit A, U, and unwrap. All right, that doesn't look too bad. You know, let me make sure that our scale is applied. Well, it's all uniform, but it hasn't been applied per se. So let's press Control A and apply the scale, and now we're back to all ones. And that's what we want. So let's try that again, just to be sure. Yeah, not too much of a difference, but still. I think that actually looks pretty good. Conformal? No, let's go with angle-based. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so if we tab back into edit mode and hit the division key, looks like we've got our origin here. So let's go ahead and apply the mirror modifier once again, and then I'll hit apply. Okay, so we have that over here now. Good. What about this guy right here? Let's take a look at him. I'll hit the division key. And, well, we could mark a seam right in here, I suppose, since this is kind of two different pieces. And we could also mark a seam kind of down here to break this out, I bet. Well, let's try this. Let's see what happens. You unwrap. Do we have the scale applied? Let me check. Yeah, we do. Okay. That doesn't look too bad, actually. You know, what we could do, though, is grab this edge here and break this out. Let's see how that works if we get a little bit better layout here. Unwrap. Yeah, that's not bad. That's kind of nice. Okay. So let's tab back into object mode, hit that division key. What else do we want to do? Well, I think we should begin working on the bumper and all of these pieces here. Let's grab this and hit the division key and see what we have. We've got a mirror modifier on it, but once again, we're going to see them both at the same time. So we're going to need to apply the modifier here once we're done. Let's go ahead and X out of that. Let's zoom in. It doesn't look like we have the scale applied yet, so let's do that. Control A, apply the scale. And then we could just probably split the back part out like this. Let's do that. And then we select these corners to open those up. Let's do that. Yeah, let's hit A, U, and unwrap. Try conformal. Really not much of a difference there, so that's fine. Okay, so we've got that. Let's hit the division key and let's go ahead and mirror it over. Let's go to add modifier, mirror. There we go. And let's hit apply. This piece right here, the division key, it looks like the scale has not been applied again. Control A and scale. Let's tab into edit mode and see what we have here. I think we'll probably want to break this out right here, this piece. That kind of jumps out at me as something that we probably needed to break out from the rest of the piece. It looks, once you break it out, it looks kind of like a cube, so we could split the edges out like that, right? And then, well, I guess what we could do is select this edge and mark a seam all the way around, so that breaks this piece out, and then we could lay it out flat. Since it's a cylindrical piece now, we can add one seam and lay it out flat like that. Yeah, let's see how that works. I'll hit L, Let's turn on seam. And let's try this, U and unwrap. Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing that we want, I think. Okay. What else do we want to do here? Well, we could probably do a similar thing here. So if we selected this edge all the way around here, right, like this, then that will split this piece out, and now it's kind of a cylindrical piece, so we could just select one edge and mark a seam, and now that strip will lay out flat. Let's go ahead and do that over here, like this, and then we'll grab that one seam. There we go. Now for this stuff over here, I think we could probably break it out along here. So we're kind of breaking this panel out from the frame. Control E, mark seam. So we've got that there. You can see that there. Then I think we'll probably need to maybe break these out. So let's now add a seam here and here and here. Let's try this. And then I want to break it out like this. So these pieces don't stay in one angled piece. Let's try this. Well, right here and right here. Okay. And maybe this will all lay out flat, all in one piece on the top here and the sides. Let's see. So A, U, unwrap. Hey, not too bad. Okay, so this looks like it's its own piece. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, let's do that. And the division key now to go back. What else? What about this one right here? Let's kind of, it looks like we can pretty much do the same thing on this one that we just did. So if we select, say, these edges all the way around, right, and then one edge, that'll split that out and lay that interior frame out flat. Let's do that. And over here, like this. Now, oh, and this thing right here. Let's get this and Alt-Shift-click this, and now let's mark a seam here. So that gets that whole ring around there, and now we can select one edge up in here, right? Now, this piece is kind of like a cube, once again, so let's grab the corners and mark those seams, and the back isn't here. We've left the back off, which just makes our life easier when we're trying to UV map. And of course, it reduces the poly count as well. All right, so let's go ahead and, well, let's tab into edit mode. Sure enough, our scale hasn't been applied yet, so let's press Control A and apply that scale. Now, if we select everything, hit U and unwrap. All right, not too bad. Well, we've got that overlapping problem here around this Boolean, which we've seen before. We could just select those faces there and press Control T to clean that up. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. All right, tab back into object mode, hit the division key. How about that cylinder in there? I remember creating that a long time ago. Let's hit the division key and take a look at that. We need to apply our scale. So Control A and apply our scale. Let's tab into edit mode. And for this, well, I think we want to break this out. Have this be a UV island all on its own, as well as this over here. Let's do that. We also want to probably break it out here and also here. Let's do this. And then if we go down to the bottom, we'll want to select this edge. I think we want that, but also I think probably we want to select some edges along here as well. Let's do this. Let's select this one and this one here. So those will split out and lay flat as well. All right, so we have our scale applied. Let's hit the A key and U and unwrap. What do we have here? Well, this is interesting. These are kind of this kind of arc here. Let's change to conformal. Not great, but once again, it's kind of a hidden piece. It's fairly small. I don't know that we're really going to see much of a problem there. Let's go ahead and add that test pattern and take a look at it. We've got a little bit of pulling around the edges here. It's true. I mean, we could add another edge in there and clean that up, but I don't think we need to. I think this is probably going to be just fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with that. I'll go back to solid view, hit the division key, and we've got another cylinder right in here. Let's do that. This looks pretty basic. We need to apply our scale. So for this, I think we just select this edge, and this one down here, like that. Now, if we want to keep them together, once again, we could select an edge and clear it, and select an edge here and clear it if we wanted to do that. Keep them all connected. Let's try that. U and unwrap. There we go. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, let's go back with the division key, and I think we've got a few other pieces to do for the next video. So let's work on these pieces. They're a little more complex. These pieces, this, and even these bolts up here. So that's coming up next.